Okay, hi guys. So this is going to be lesson 12 homework number 1. So that was today's homework, which is February 3rd. So I'm going to read the problem to you, and I'm going to walk you through drawing the picture. And then I think this will help you kind of figure out what you're supposed to do next. So the problem says Terrence finished a word search in 3/4 the time it took Frank. So I'm just going to label that T above there for Terrence. Charlotte finished the word search in 2/3 the time it took Terrence. So I'm going to box in 2/3 the time it took Terrence, and I'm going to put a C here for Charlotte. Frank finished the word search in 32 minutes. How long did it take Charlotte to finish the word search? So answer statement here, it took Charlotte blank minutes to finish. All right, so let's draw a picture. So you always want to start with the person where we know the exact amount of time, and that is Frank for this one. So I'm going to put a start line for my tape diagrams, and I'm going to put an F here for Frank, and we know that Frank's amount is 32 minutes. So I'm just going to draw a tape there, and I'm going to label the total at the top, 32 minutes. So when you start with the one that you know the actual total for, you can compare the other ones to this. So I'm looking for something that I can compare Frank to. And when I reread the problem, Terrence finished a word search in 3/4 the time it took Frank. Here we're comparing Terrence to Frank. Terrence is finishing in 3/4 of the time that it took Frank. So I'm going to take Frank's time, and I'm going to split it in half and split my halves in half to make fourths. I know that Terrence's time is going to be exactly 3/4 of Frank's time. So right here at the 3/4 mark, 1, 2, 3/4, I'm going to drop down a dotted line to show exactly how long Terrence's tape should be. And I'm going to label the T total at the T top of Terrence's. I'm not sure exactly how many minutes yet, but I know that it's going to be 3/4 of 32 minutes. Now, last but not least, Charlotte. We don't really know Terrence's total, but we can show Charlotte's tape by looking back here. Charlotte finished the word search in 2/3 the time it took Terrence. So I'm going to split Terrence into 3 equal parts, 1/3, 2/3. At the 2/3 mark, I'm going to drop down a dotted line, and that shows me exactly how long Charlotte's tape should be. And now I'm not really sure Charlotte's amount. It's going to be 2/3 of Terrence's. So we have to figure out Terrence's time first. So I'm going to label my work T for Terrence. And looking back, we know that Terrence finished a word search in 3/4 the time it took Frank. So that's 3/4 of Frank's time, 3/4 of 32 minutes. So we have 3/4 of 32 minutes. Now we know a fraction of a number means multiply, so we can rewrite this as a multiplication expression, 3/4 times 32. I can rewrite this by changing this whole number to a fraction by putting 1 on the bottom. So then it becomes 3/4 times 32 over 1. I multiply across the top, multiply across the bottom. 3 times 32, I'm going to come to the side, 32 times 3. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 3 is 9. So I have 96 on top. 4 times 1 is 4. So here I have 96/4, and we know a fraction is an unfinished division problem, so I can read it top to bottom. 96 divided by 4. So I'm going to put 96 in the box, 96 divided by 4. 4 is our divisor here, so it goes outside the box. 4 goes into 9 2 times without going over. 2 times 4 is 8. I subtract and get 1, bring down my 6. 4 times what gets me close to 16 without going over? Well, I know 4 times 4 is exactly 16, so I can subtract and I get 0. So here I see 96/4 is equal to 24 minutes. So I know now that Terrence's time is exactly 24 minutes. So I'm going to go back over to my tape. And what I can do at this point is show that Terrence's total here is exactly 24 minutes. Now, looking back at how we drew this picture, we knew that Charlotte took 2/3 the time it took Terrence. So here's Terrence's time. 2/3 would be exactly this amount here. So we drop down our tape to Charlotte. Charlotte is 2/3 of Terrence, so it's 2/3 of that 24 minutes that we just found out. So I'm going to box in my work here for Terrence, and I'm going to relabel my work now for Charlotte. We have 2/3 of 24 minutes. Now we know a fraction of a number means multiply, so this is equal to 2/3 times 24. 2/3 times 24 is the same as 2/3 times 24 over 1, because we can change any whole number to a fraction by putting 1 as the denominator. We're going to multiply across the top, multiply across the bottom. 2 times 24, well, if I come over here, 24 times 2. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 2 is 4. We have 48 on the top. 3 times 1 is 3. 48/3, well, we can't leave it that way. It's an improper fraction, but I know a fraction's an unfinished division problem. So I can do 48 divided by 3. The number on top is the number that goes in the box. That's called your dividend. And the number on the bottom, the denominator, becomes your divisor. So we have 48 divided by 3. 3 goes into 4 one time without going over. I subtract and bring down. 3 times 6 gives me exactly 18. So my answer here ends up being 16. So Charlotte, it took Charlotte 16 minutes. So what we can do is fill in our answer statement. It took Charlotte 16 minutes to finish, and that's our final answer.